A unique 4-grain recipe. Smooth up front with a little Kentucky kiss on the back. This is a bourbon for all of life's moments and celebrations. Available across the United States. We give back to those who wore the uniform and serve our communities.
The Lost Art Project, Veteran Voices with Andrew Cox. Preserving history, one veteran story at a time. Marine Corps League and Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast that's given a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art Project, Veteran Voices with Andrew Cox. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Project, Veterans Voices. I'm your host, AJ Cox, and I'm excited. We're going to have a part 2 for you today. Kurk Anderson will be here. But before we get into the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? Make sure you go to the website. That's the lostart.podbean.com. Go check us out. See what we're all about. There are a couple of ways you can help support us here at the podcast. You can always go to that website. Click on the one-time donation link. You can also become a patron. That's with a monthly donation. And heck, you can go get you some cool merchandise or just advertise right here on the podcast. A big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project out there doing amazing things. If you don't know anything about them, go check them out. If you do know something about them, go back and check them out again. They're always putting up new stuff and they're always doing incredible things. You can find them at tillvalhallaproject.com. Are you a Marine veteran? Are you missing that bond you had on active duty? Then I have a place for you. Join the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps Veteran Service Organization, the Marine Corps League. Get that brother and sisterhood back in your life. Become one of the fewer, the prouder, a Marine Corps League member. All right, here we are, part 2. Kurk Anderson, how you doing?
Doing great. I can't believe it's taken 2 parts to talk about my career. Holy crap.
Well,
we'll give it a shot and we'll get through the rest of it.
If not, we'll do a part 3.
Oh my God.
So it'll be okay.
We'll wear everybody out.
Very nice. Well, if you don't mind, let's just jump right back into it. Sure. I think it was departing Hawaii, I think is where we left off.
Yeah. I finished I finished 3 years on that staff as an individual mobilization augmentee. The last bit on active duty. My wonderful wife came out and collected me. We had the chance to visit 3 different islands before we left.
Nice.
Including spending some time in an Army camp that's right on the edge of the Kilauea volcano. And really cool. Hiking and seeing lava flow and all of that. That was really, really special.
Wow. And
we head back to Wisconsin and reconnect with the family. And following that, I got a seat in our Command and Staff College, the Marine Corps Command and Staff College. And for reservists, it's hard to pick up and go to school full time for 9 months or whatever.
Right.
So what they do is they set it up for us to go to someplace once a month for a little over a year. So my location was right down the road at an airport hotel by O'Hare in Chicago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So for the majority of 2003, I was hopping in a car and running down there and hanging out with a lot of other staff officers, which was great fun, just great fun. We had a history professor who's also a colonel in the Marine Corps, flying up from Louisiana, I want to say, or Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure I'm going to get that wrong. If he's watching, I'm sorry. But we had just great time. And we look for every opportunity to not only sit in the room and talk about our readings and about history and all those kinds of things, but to get out. So
Right.
there's a place near on the western side of Chicago, outside the suburbs, called Cantini. Cantini is a private military museum.
Oh, wow.
Bunch of heavy equipment, wonderful displays. Just
No kidding.
super.
That's really cool.
Had a wonderful, that was the year that Master and Commander came out, the Russell Crowe movie. So we had an outing one Saturday afternoon to go watch it and talk about, what we saw. So, we made it fun. And I knew the year was going to be fun because the very first day that we met, the colonel was, okay, we need to pick a class leader, and they're going to be the one that coordinates, blah, 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 blah. And, we'll do that later today. And of course, at some point, I had to go to the head, and I'm in the head, and I come back, and they're like, congratulations, you're the class. Like, thanks so much, guys. Yeah, really watching out for me. That's wonderful stuff.
That is perfect Marine talk and do right there. I love it.
God. Well, and we had a lot of fun. We got through the work. We all learned a lot about history, and strategy was really, for us, the focus.
Right. And
just had a great time. Ultimately wonderful. And, they blew me away at the end of the, in our last class. They gave me a wonderful plaque with a K-bar strapped to it.
Oh, nice.
Hey, great job being the class leader. I was like, oh boy, thanks, guys. So I do have a memento of that year.
Very cool.
While in the course, I'm already thinking about, okay, I'm a lieutenant colonel. Where do I go from here? I need a reserve job. How am I going to find one?
Right.
What a lot of Marines don't know, and even reserve Marines don't know, is officers are kind of free agents, and you got to apply and, be prepared to travel every time you drill.
Oh, wow.
99.9% of the time, there's no job for you near your house.
Yeah,
You're
makes
going to
sense.
be getting on a plane and going somewhere. So it was truly a pleasure for me that year going to command and staff, because I could just hop in a car, and in a couple of hours I was where I needed to be. So that was wonderful. But one of the gentlemen in the course was a colonel, and I told him about my background, and he said, "Hey, I think I can take care of you. Here's where you need to send your application." And the next thing I knew, I was back on the 4th Service Support Group staff.
Okay.
And this time, they needed at the time that I joined the staff, they were focused on being the reserve Marine Corps component in South Korea.
Oh, okay.
That was kind of the mission that they were trying to carve out for themselves, and to be eventually built into the standing operational plans and that kind of thing.
Right.
So they were partnering with the Army's 19th Theater Support Group. I don't even know if that group exists anymore, but at the time it was headquartered over in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
And so they said, "Kirk, here's the deal. If you want to join us, you're going to be the lead liaison officer to the 19th TSC." I said, "Okay, what does that mean?" "Well, go drill with them." Go drill with them? Yeah, go drill with them, and kind of listen in and understand what they're doing, how they're going to approach the upcoming exercises. And they would participate, as did we, in 2 each year.
Okay.
Team Spirit and LG Focus Lens, one in the spring, one in the summer. And it went on that way for many years. And I had a great time. I got along with the general staff. In fact, I'm still friends with several of the officers I served with,
Nice.
the Army officers at that time. Great time with the commanding general. I think 2 things Marines will appreciate when they watch this. I was fortunate enough to have another fellow with me, major at the time, Mike McCarthy. He lived in Illinois, so I'd leave Wisconsin. I'd grab him. We'd go out to hang out in Nebraska. And one weekend, they were going to shoot on the pistol and rifle range. Hey guys, you want to shoot? Well, yeah, sure. We want to shoot. Let's go. And Mike and I were both experts with the pistol, shooting the Marine Corps course of fire. But the Army course of fire had pop-up targets, and you walk down a path, and stuff we had never seen it, let alone shot it. And both of us walked through the course and shot perfect. Oh,
wow.
And all the Army officers are just shaking their heads. None of them did as well.
Yeah.
To this day, that is like so much fun. Not that we shot well. I mean, sure, we took pride in that. It's their reaction to us shooting well.
Right.
It was just hysterical. And then another time we showed up, and they're like, hey, we're going to run our physical fitness test. You want to run our physical fitness test with us? Yeah, sure. Sure, we'll run with you. Yeah, let's go. And it was, once again, we didn't max their physical fitness test, but we were the first two officers to finish everything.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there were some young hard chargers who did better than us on stuff, but for the most part, we were the ones leading the way. Once again, Mike and I just looked at each other with, is this real? Yeah, it's real. So we had so much fun with them. And a couple of times, once they were doing pre-deployment prep, and they went down to Fort Hood in Texas and took us along. Got to meet some other staff, some other generals, and rub elbows and barbecue and probably drink a little too much. I don't quite remember all the details about that trip in particular, but it was,
that does happen from time to time.
Yeah, it does. And then for the next that was probably most of a year bouncing around with them, and then we were brought back onto the 4th FSSG staff proper. And now, they didn't see a need for somebody going to sit with them every weekend. Now we were primarily in New Orleans preparing to go on these exercises.
Okay.
And, we were just one of the many who would go along. At the time, the commanding general always led the team, set up a command post and a communications center, and connect in with 19th TSC and the Army command in that operating area, typically in Seoul. Once again, always fun. Typically between 100 and 150, I'll say, Marines and sailors would go on these 2-week exercises. Typically leave on a Friday, come back on a Sunday, but 2 full weeks in Korea.
Right.
I did enough of them. I did enough of those.
Was that pulled from across the 4th FSSG, or how did that work?
Across the FSSG primarily, because we needed, there were certainly staff people from New Orleans like myself, but we needed communications guys.
Right.
They were typically out of Marietta at the time, if I remember correctly, and we would often have specialty guys from other parts. So they were coming from across the U.S.
Right.
Typically, we all met in Atlanta and got on the same bird, Korean Airlines, to Seoul.
Okay.
Had wonderful experiences. Like I said, the CG was typically with us. And while we were there, we were often given opportunities to brief what was going on with Marine Corps operational logistics in the theater to the Army, 2 or 3 star in the area. So that was always fun. Gave us some great experiences interacting with other staffs. and seeing, what firsthand, how they set up, how they operated, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got to rub elbows with a lot of ROC Marines too.
Oh, okay.
They in terms of partying and working hard, they're right up there with U.S. Marines. They take no
Nice.
quarter. Yeah, it's crazy. And as a result, we got to know several folks who had retired, who were running businesses in Seoul, and stop in, say hello, get a drink. Don't just chat. They just wanted to be around Marines, so it was always fun. Notably, we were in Korea in August of 2005 when Katrina hit.
Oh wow!
And blew up New Orleans, and all of the active duty, the I&I staff were with us, so they were stressed. Obviously, the commanding general was stressed for them. Trying to get information, trying to make sure people were safe, all of that kind of thing. And the year following that, we still drilled. Some of our folks volunteered to go on active duty to help with the rescues coordination, that kind of thing.
Right.
I didn't do that, but I continued to drill. And for that year, they had us in a hotel close to the French Quarter. The hotel that they had typically used for us really got blown up by the hurricane.
Yeah.
So we were still able to do our job. The next exercise, we didn't deploy. We actually set up our command post in New Orleans and used SATCOM to interact with the folks in Korea.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. And in that time, that fall, I was fortunate enough to have our commanding general, Gray Payne, was coming to the area where I live I live in Kohler, Wisconsin. He was coming to the area for a Marine Corps ball.
Oh, okay.
And, through the chief of staff, I asked if he wouldn't mind, coming a couple of days early and maybe, be my guest here in Kohler and promote me to colonel.
Oh, and very nice.
Enough, he and his wife and his aide came up, and the company I worked for at the time was Kohler Company, and they, set aside a beautiful ballroom and set it up with everything we needed, and all of the reservists who were currently participating in the reserve within the area that were members of Kohler Company, they all came in uniform. Wow. They surprised me. They all showed up in uniform and we had just a great time.
Wow.
Great time. Yeah.
That's awesome. So get promoted to colonel at that point, full bird, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And when I returned to the 4th FSSG, I became the kind of the lead, if you will, for what was going on in Korea. And so we got a new commanding general in mid 2006. He had a different vision for where the FSSG could go and what things it should be participating in to train and prepare for war. And his focus was on Africa.
Okay.
So we were still tied to what was going on in Korea, but the general said, "Okay, I'm not going to go to Korea anymore," and he handed it off to me.
Oh, wow!
You're now the guy. When we go, you're the guy. Make it happen. And now, it's post 9/11. I'm a full colonel, and I'm committed to being prepared for the worst. Much, I think, to the chagrin of my employers.
Yeah.
I I would deploy twice a year for 2 weeks to Korea, starting in starting in 2007. So all of 2007, all of 2008, I was deploying twice a year, plus doing my drills. And when I drilled, since I had to fly to New Orleans, I was typically taking a 3-day weekend.
Right.
And, as helpful and wonderful as my employer was, there were certainly rubs. I was a leader and a manager within that organization, as well as a leader within the Marine Corps. And, eventually we had to part ways. It just wasn't, it wasn't working out. And in retrospect, I really understand it. I really was putting the Marine Corps first, and there was no question about it.
Yeah.
In anybody's mind.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be a difficult aspect of being in the reserves, is dealing with the employer and trying not to take too much of their time, and balancing the two is definitely got to be difficult, especially at the level that you were at.
And it gets to the point where there's really nothing. I couldn't work enough hours in a week to overcome the perception that I wasn't committed to the company success.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I was working a lot of hours. The last year with the company, I was responsible for logistics for cabinetry making facilities, one in North Carolina and one in Hamilton, Ontario. So I was traveling. I was never home that last year with that company, between Marine Corps stuff and what I was doing for the company. Had some great experiences again, though. Great people working with me and for me, both in business and in the Marine Corps, and had a great, a great experience. I got looking back, couldn't have been any better than it was, other than the fact that I ultimately, it was kind of interesting that I had to part ways with them. And then within a few months, I was retired from the reserve, and I was already with another company. But that's hard to, plan, or timing's everything, as they say. I got a couple of great experiences in Korea, and it's always fun to be the guy promoting young Marines. At the crack of dawn before the operation starts, or trying to give good guidance before they go out to take a little liberty. I still remember standing in front of in front of the detachment, and there was, I think that year we had about 130, and my second was also an 06, and he was a lawyer, a JAG officer.
Oh, okay.
But he was filling a supply support role. His real job was being a lawyer, and he had done some JAG stuff, but now he was filling, I don't know, ops or something.
Right.
And I still remember I said a few words to the group, and he pulled me aside and he whispered in my ear. He said, "I am the king's conscience, and I don't think you want to say that." I said, "Oh my goodness." He said, "Yeah, next time, why don't you try saying it this way?" Oh, okay. Thanks, James.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. He kept me organized.
That's one big difference I see is the officers when they're giving briefs versus the enlisted when they're giving the briefs. The enlisted have a little more leniency in what they can say and do. Whereas the officers, you got to kind of walk that line,
Yeah. Another time I was there was the last time the general went, and he sent me to be a liaison officer to an active duty regiment. So I'm a new colonel. Just I had just pinned it on a couple of months earlier, so it's the spring of 2006.
Yeah.
Newly minted colonel. Here we go. All right, Kirk, you need to be the liaison officer to this regimental command. We're going to send you down the road. And we'll be in touch and we'll communicate and we'll make sure we're in a. Okay, fine. So I go down there and I had a nice time with them. Colonel Rourke was their CO, and I crossed paths with him a few more times after this. And we had a good exercise. It was pretty boring, frankly. And we're getting within a few days of me needing to leave and get back to the rest of my group. We were in Pohang, and the rest of my group was up in Seoul, and that's where I needed to go to catch my plane home.
Right.
So I said, "Hey, Colonel, we need to be coordinated here so that I don't miss my bird." He said, "Hey, no problem." He calls over his captain logistics officer and says, "Yeah, we've got that C9 that flies this loop from Okinawa to Seoul to here and back with few supplies or people or mail or whatever it's doing. Let's change the route and have it come here and then go to Seoul so Colonel Anderson can get a ride."
Yeah.
Okay. And it was going to be, I don't know, the exercise was really slow that year and it was kind of boring. And so it was like 2 days before the exercise ended. The captain says, "Okay, sir, we got a bird for you. It's leaving tomorrow morning. Have all your stuff packed and ready to go by whatever, 08. Okay. And I'm still thinking, here I'm Snuffy Anderson is ready to go. He's taking direction and we'll be ready. And we get on a truck and we make our way to the airfield. And somebody, I unload my bags and some Marine grabs them and takes them off piles them up with everybody else's bags. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And, a little while later, a Marine walks up and says, "Sir, the bird will be here soon. I hope you're okay waiting." I said, "It's fine. This is it. This is all I'm doing today." And finally, the bird lands and it taxis up. Door comes down. People, bags get thrown in the back of this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of milling around. I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's get on this thing and get out of here.
Right.
And the crew chief was a gunnery sergeant. He hops off. He salutes me. He said, "Sir, your airplane will be ready in a moment." I was like, okay. He goes in and there's a little, porthole window where they put the bags in the back of the C9. And he puts up a flag with an eagle on it. And he hops out, and he salutes me. He said, "Sir, your aircraft is ready for you to board."
What? No kidding. Wow,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was like, I did not. I should have spent time on active duty as an 06.
Wow.
Yeah, that's another one of those. Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. I think the last time I went would have been, let's see, it would have been the summer of 2008. And who was I briefing? General Bell, I think. And he was, he was a tough guy, Army guy, and he's asking a bunch of questions, and it's like, whatever. I've been answering questions my whole life. So I was ready, and it was just a great exchange. Once again, I always learned something in those exchanges in those staff rooms, watching other people's expressions and reactions to, the guy who's in charge. And once, about a month later, my commanding general at the time, he had been promoted to 2-star. He calls me into his office. He says, "Here," and he hands me. He had received a personal note from General Bell, thanking him for having a great crew, and specifically Colonel Anderson did a great job. Blah blah blah. I was like,
very nice.
Yeah. So, the back end was frankly great. You know, I gave the Marine Corps more, the reserve more than I ever had, and I got back way more. There were just some great people that I worked with on that staff who took care of us. Great active duty folks helping make sure things went well. And we went through all this adversity. You know, I transitioned from one role to another. You know, the whole place got whacked with that hurricane, and everybody had to recover and pull together and help one another.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, some of the people that I ended up working with, I had worked with, as I recounted in part one. This time, a fellow who I worked with, we were both on active duty as captains, and both working for 4th FSSG as active duty captains. Now he's a colonel. I'm a colonel. We're both back on the same staff. You know, so those kinds of things happened, you know, all the time.
Right.
Or, you know, another friend of mine, Steve Orrick. Steve was the group surgeon, so he was a Navy reservist, orthopedic surgeon. Grew up in New Orleans. Super nice guy. I was thinking about him today because I just rearranged my office and I was moving my coins around. And when he retired, he arranged to have his retirement in which was at that time called the Higgins Boat Museum in New Orleans. Now the World War II Museum.
Yeah.
And he had coins made for everybody to take that day as mementos of his retirement.
Very cool.
But yeah, Oric, I was like, Steve, you grew up in New Orleans? Yeah. I said, anything about that vacuum? Oh, that's my dad. Yeah, I'm not into any of that stuff. Oh, okay.
Wow. That's interesting.
So, yeah, I mean, it was always, I tell folks to, you stay in this long enough and you cross paths over and over with people, even though you don't see them or they're, you know, half a planet away.
Yeah.
I don't think I told this story, and stop me if I did, Andrew, but you know, when I first started working for Kohler Company, it was like the year 2000. It was well before 9/11. I go to Shanghai for the company I'm working with. I meet an expat who's running a plant, and I'm going to go look at the plant and kind of help him with some continuous improvement stuff. He says, hey, my favorite bar is right across the street from our hotel. Let's go in there. I'll buy you a drink and you can unwind, and we'll start in earnest tomorrow, go into the plant and all of that. I said, that sounds great. So we go into this place. It's 2000, year 2000. Sit down, had just ordered a drink. And I hear this loud voice from across the bar. Now, this was called the long bar because it was an incredibly long, skinny room.
Okay.
And the bar seemed like, 20 yards long. I know it wasn't that long, but it seemed that long. And somebody's yelling profanities at me across the room. Well, it was a guy who I had served with as a lieutenant who I hadn't seen in 16 years.
Oh, wow.
And he was an expat working for, I don't know, Coca-Cola or Pepsi or somebody. And part of his comp was the penthouse in the adjoining hotel. And so said, this is my bar. You need to ask permission to be in here. But little things like that happen all the time. We're celebrating 250 years and just had a chance to participate in a cake cutting ceremony at the Wisconsin State Capitol.
Right.
And I was asked to say a few remarks. And I'm up there with a retired gunnery sergeant, the secretary of the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, and the director of the Wisconsin Veterans Museum. And I'm talking to the guy from the Veterans Museum, and he says, he's asking me about my career, and I said, "Oh, did you serve?" And he said, "No, I've been a museum curator for a long time." He said the last couple of places, the last place I was at the Fort Leavenworth at their museum. I was their curator. I said, "Oh, I got it." I said, "Oh, I've become appreciate. The older I get, the more I appreciate history." I said, "I'm a Naval Academy graduate." "Oh," he said, "I was just at a symposium and I did a paper on what we learned from our landings in Okinawa. I'll send it to you. I'm sure you'll enjoy it." In 5 minutes, and we have a connection.
Yeah.
I spent another couple minutes talking to the gunny.
Mm-hmm.
He was a reservist his whole career.
Okay.
And long since retired. "Hey, did you know Colonel so-and-so?" I said, "Not sure I did, but the name is familiar." I said, where did he serve?" "Oh, well, he was at the headquarters down in New Orleans in the early 90s. I said, "I was at the headquarters in New Orleans in the early 90s. That's why I probably know his name."
Yeah.
"Oh," he said, "Do you know Bobby Hollingsworth?" I said, "Major General Bobby Hollingsworth?" I said, "Yeah, I work for him directly. I was one of his active duty staff."
Nice.
So, I'm reminded all the time. So we get to the end of 2008. My official retirement date is 1 January 2009.
Okay.
And I talked to the commanding general and I said, "Hey, unlike some staff," I said, I want to have something. I don't want to just say goodbye and have a nice day." I said, "I think it's a big deal. And I think anybody who retires, whether they're retiring, from an active Marine Corps position or from a reserve position or from whatever, the Marine Corps needs to take time and have a party."
Yeah.
He
I
said,
agree
"No
with that.
problem, Kirk." He said, "But we can't do it here in New Orleans." He said, "I'm already planning, as you know, a command post exercise at our headquarters and service battalion in Marietta, Georgia. So would it be okay if we have your retirement there?" And I said, "No, that sounds great." And got to say a few remarks and be with a couple hundred. I mean, it was a big command post exercise. A lot of Marines in uniform, and that's how I went out. I went out on a drill weekend in December of 2008 with a few hundred Marines, followed by a crazy drunken party at one of the staff officers who had a home there. And my in-laws came, my wife and kids came. It was really wonderful. We had just a great time celebrating, and in typical Marine Corps fashion, I had no expectation of getting any kind of award or recognition for the work that I'd done over the last couple of years in Korea. I just thought, okay, we're parting ways, and it's the right time for me, and we'll move on. And wouldn't you know, some Marine runs up to me and says, "Hey, sir, did you bring your medal with you?" I said, "What?" The one that they're going to present to you today. Do you have it? I said, "I have no idea what you are talking about." "Oh, sorry, sir. We'll figure it out." But is this not in line with some of your Marine Corps experiences? That's the way this goes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah. So, so now I've left. I transitioned to some other work on the civilian side, and I'm thinking, okay, I still need to do some Marine something. I got to find something. About a year goes by, and somebody on LinkedIn sent me a note and said, "Hey, I'm doing this business, and do you want to participate in it?" And I said, "No." Well, it was Kim Galsky. Kim, you may remember, was on the cover of Semper Fi magazine. She was Mrs. Wisconsin a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
And she said, well, why don't you join the Marine Corps League? I said, where's the detachment? I said, I don't know where to. She said, there's one right here in Fond du Lac. It's about
Nice.
45 minutes from where I live. So
Mhm.
I joined the Marine Corps League in 2009.
Mhm.
I was with Fond du Lac for a couple of years, and then the folks here in Sheboygan started a detachment. And
Mhm.
about within a year of them starting that detachment, I found out about it and I transferred over here. And I've been engaged and involved with the Marine Corps League ever since.
Yeah.
And it has filled this wonderful space in my life where I knew, I'm at the end of the day, somebody asks what I am. I'm a Marine.
Mhm.
That's the only answer there can be.
Yeah.
I did a lot of other really fun and exciting creative stuff working for different companies, but I'm a Marine, and it's so much fun to get together with Marines, talk about Marine stuff, celebrate like we're celebrating this year.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
you know, my wife and I will, by the end of this coming Saturday, we'll have been to 2 Marine Corps balls, the cake cutting at the state capitol, and lots of yucking it up and hoorahs for 250 years.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. You know, it's so important in my mind is to have that connection, have a connection to the military, and the Marine Corps League is an amazing organization. First and foremost, I'm not I am trying to sell it, okay, but the Marine Corps League is incredible. But what you're saying, the connection of having that after service is so important, in my opinion.
I I don't know what I would have done if uh, if folks hadn't put their arm around me when I left active duty and said, do some reserve work. You're good at what you do, and
Hmm.
the Marine Corps needs you. So keep doing it. So
Yeah.
that was the first transition point, doing a little less Marine Corps stuff that lasted, I don't know, 14 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And then for the last 14 years, that next step away from active and reserve work. And it's just been, for me, a light landing place, if you will.
Hmm.
And I see a need for people like myself, people with some extensive service background,
Hmm.
regardless of rank,
Right.
who's experienced things like large Marine Corps balls,
Hmm.
or understands what how a sword should be used if we're going to do some kind of sword manual,
Right.
or understands the importance of making sure everybody's in the same uniform when they go out to do an honor guard or a color
Right.
guard or
Hmm.
whatever. Because I've discovered so many of our Marine Corps leaguers maybe did 4 years.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe they were reservists their whole time and never saw any of that from an active duty perspective.
True.
And so I find myself in role of teacher and mentor far more than I ever thought I would,
Right.
trying to help people understand more about the Marine Corps, I think, than they realized
Hmm.
is going on.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I don't know. I think it's important for the younger generation to have somebody that's been there, done that, been around the block, and able to teach those things, and able to be there to kind of be that mentor for them.
Yeah,
Whether
and
they
I've learned,
know they need it or not, it's
right.
it's good for it to be there.
Yeah, and I've learned too through the leaguers that I've worked with here in Wisconsin that there is often a need for leaguers to connect and provide some assistance to reserve units. They're
Right.
often, they can often use a hand up in the
Hmm.
sense that they've got so much stuff going on and they're rushing around. As an example, um, I was not, since I had been a reservist and I had been a company commander in the reserve, I was
Right.
like, really, I don't think we need to be, bringing brats and hamburgers and pizzas to reserve centers until
Mhm.
I understood, well, we've got, infantry units that are in the field till the last minute. They got to
Mhm.
clean up, turn in their weapon, try to get out of there so they can get home and get ready for the next day. And it's huge for them to be able to grab something and go
Yeah.
and have a meal. Or uh, I realized that they weren't, the command may identify Marine of the Year or NCO of the Year, but they weren't
Mhm.
necessarily giving them anything.
Right.
Well, leaguers can step up and give an NCO sword or a K bar to
Absolutely.
recognize high achievers.
Mhm.
This year in particular, several of the detachments in the state really stepped up financially to help make sure the reserves had great Marine Corps balls.
Yeah.
Because once again, they're funded locally. They might do some reach out to local businesses or whatever to try and make it work, but that often falls short.
Mhm.
And so they don't end up with the experience that we may have had while we were on active duty that they deserve. So
Right. Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, yeah,
Being able to, yeah, what am I saying? Collaborate with them and having one big ball for the Marine Corps League and that reserve unit or several reserve units, whatever the case is,
yeah.
could work too.
Well, and this year, because we've done a lot of work over many years with the companies Fox and Gulf from 2nd Battalion, 24th Marines,
Mhm.
um, their battalion commander recognized what we were doing. Now, his headquarters is down in Illinois, but he
Mhm.
decided, we'll have the ball in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My wife and I
Nice.
went this past weekend. They had 1,000 in attendance,
No kidding. Wow.
and it was first class.
Yeah.
My wife and I we've been to balls in Washington, D.C., and New
Mhm.
Orleans. We've been to big balls and small. This was outstanding. And it
Yeah.
was a partnership. It was certainly a financial partnership
Mhm.
between all of those reservists within 224 and the Marine Corps League in the state of Wisconsin to help make sure that it, went off the way it should. And it did. It
Right.
was wonderful. It was just wonderful.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah,
That's the
I
way it should be.
expect we'll do more of that in the future.
Yeah, I like it. Well, I think you're doing well in the Marine Corps League because you've held several different positions. Now the commandant for Wisconsin, correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I haven't moved through every position at the department level. I was the adjutant for many years. Or I'm
Hmm.
sorry, the judge advocate for many years. And long story, but ultimately I ended up as the commandant. And um, typically we sit in the seat for a couple of years and then move on, let somebody else learn the ropes and do all that stuff.
Right.
The gentleman who's our senior vice commandant, getting ready to step into the seat, had a lot of personal things going on this past year and asked if I wouldn't stay for a third year. So
Oh
I'm going to be
wow.
finishing my third year as the Department of Wisconsin commandant, and
Hmm.
it's been, I mean, even now every day I learned so much about what we're doing and how we're interacting with the community, and
Right.
it's just heartwarming. And I'm honored to be associated with all these people.
Yeah.
I don't put in as many hours as many of the others do to make sure that not only our reservists but our local community and veterans who are not affiliated with the Marine Corps League, Marines and others
Mhm.
get support that they need if they're not getting it from somewhere else. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good stuff.
Yeah. Like I said,
And
I love the Marine Corps League, and not just because I'm the ambassador for them, but it's a cool organization.
We really try hard to get better every day, just like every organization.
Yeah.
And, much like other veterans groups, uh, the league needs members.
Yeah.
I see folks all the time, and I'm like, "Hey guys, why aren't you joining?" Well, I got a wife and kids, and I got a job, and I won't be able to give any time. I said, it's not about time. It's about whatever you can give. It's about camaraderie, and you know what? You'll know what's going on, and maybe you come to the ball, or maybe there's a family picnic, and you can all come out and play games, or maybe you're having a long month, and you come to a meeting just to see some folks and vent a little.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we do that you don't have to, come out and raise funds if you don't have the time. Don't do it.
Right. Yeah. And you're right. That's one of the big things is the younger guys that still have families, are still working, still doing all this type of stuff. They don't really have the time to do a lot of things.
And I'm like, that's okay. Do whatever you can. And if it's nothing this year, then it's nothing.
Right.
Heck, I'd just like to see you at the Marine Corps Ball. Wouldn't that be great? Just one night in the year, come hang out with us for a few hours.
Absolutely.
Tell us what's going on in your life. That's the kind of thing that gets me excited. That I want to see happen.
And if they're a member of it and they start to see more of it and stuff like that, they'll eventually be able to have the time. They're going to eventually be able to get in those positions to be able to help and do things. So it's just a matter of time, right?
It is. And, a lot of times too, it's just, you're coming to the meetings, maybe, all right, now you can't come. And then you start coming, and then you start listening to what people's experiences. Even for me, I was kind of going through the motions when I joined this detachment. And I wasn't really understanding everything that was going on with the league itself until one of our members went to, where did he go? He went to the national convention when it was in Idaho. Okay. Several years ago. And I've never seen, and he's a retired union worker and, served one tour in the Corps and didn't really have a whole lot to say about anything. And suddenly he's all excited. And I'm like, wonder what that's all about. Maybe I ought to go, see why he's so excited. And the next thing I know, I'm going to national conventions. I'm participating at the department. I throw my name in the hat. I'm a member of the board of directors for the Marine Corps League Foundation.
Nice.
I can't tell you how many Marines I bump into or I hear of. Hey, so-and-so is having a real tough time financially. They can't pay their bills. I said, have they filled out the paperwork for Marine Corps League Foundation? They'll pay the whole thing. Yeah. And guess what? You don't have to be a member of the league. You just have to be a Marine. Right. Getting that word out has been, something else that I'm very passionate about because folks just, we talk about it, but it goes kind of right over people's heads, if you will. Right. In the sense that they don't think about it, they don't write it down. And then when somebody needs help, they don't think to say, oh, hey, go to this website, fill out this form and submit it. They'll answer in 24 hours. Because that's how the Marine Corps League Foundation works. Yeah. You give fill out the form completely and provide whatever it asks for. You're going to hear from us in 24 hours. Right.
Yeah. What we ought to do is let's do a dedicated podcast on that specifically and have you come on like a fireside chat or something for that.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah. And then if you guys have a commercial or something of that nature, I can also plug the commercials in. That way it's being at least seen by a few folks.
Well, I'll talk to our president is Howard Schaefer. leaguer, retired major. I don't remember what he did, but he's a big real estate guy now in the Carolinas, I believe.
Okay.
But he's all about trying to figure out how to break the code for on two sides of the coin here. One is awareness and understanding of what we do as a foundation, why we do it, and who can get help from us.
Right.
That's the first thing, because not enough people know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the other thing is how to connect with individuals and businesses to raise funds to support what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we fund the Marine Corps League National Scholarship Program. It all comes out of the foundation, as one example. And we'd love to give more money and support more students, but we just don't have the money to do it.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, you got to have the money to support it. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let me connect with the boss, and we can figure out how to promo it through a little fireside chat or something.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
It'd be good, I think, to be able to highlight that, and then if we can do a commercial or something for it, we'll throw a commercial up. And I don't mind putting it up just like I did the Marine Corps League commercial.
Sure.
I'll find a spot in here and throw it in.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. 3 hours. 3 hours, and you got my. That's like an hour per 10 years. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. No, I think it worked out well. No issues on my end. Good. So I got to hear a cool story, and I got to learn some new stuff, and we're collaborating on even more stuff moving forward. So it's good.
It's good. It's really good.
Well, shoot, is there anything else maybe you want to talk about before we kind of move on to the next part here?
Oh gosh, not today. I'm sure if we get back on, I will have other stories to tell or other things to talk about. I could fill up an hour just talking about leadership stuff. Lessons I learned, how I learned them, why they meant something to me, and I told several of them over the course of these 3 hours. But that's really my passion. When it's all said and done, in all the places that I've worked, and I taught at a technical college for a few years, it was all about trying to teach people about sound ways to lead others.
Right.
And if I ever ended up in a situation where my organization that I work for decided we needed to part ways, it was typically over differences in how to treat people.
And that's huge. Yeah.
You don't get anything done without the people, and if you don't treat them well every day, regardless of your opinion of whether they're a good person or a bad person, they need to be treated well every day, or you're going to get nothing out of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. I love it.
All good.
Well, as we start to approach the end of a podcast, I always have these rapid fire questions. So I hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. What is your proudest military moment?
My proudest military moment, I would have to say it was the time that I got what I just talked about, when the general handed me the memo from an Army general saying this guy did great work. I was like, wow, that was cool. That was really cool.
That's awesome. I love it. All right. What is your most embarrassing military moment?
My most embarrassing military moment. Boy, I've got a lot of them. I guess I was a first lieutenant. I was on an exercise in Okinawa. I was working, I was like a Red Force guy, and I dreamt something up that couldn't possibly have happened. We're supposed to kind of stick to the script.
Yeah.
The general wasn't happy. Who came up with this crap? Lieutenant Anderson.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right. If you could be one military leader for a day, who would that be?
You know, I've been reading recently a lot about another Naval Academy graduate, General Lejeune, and I think I'd like to be him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That man had a vision that we are all living every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
he created the Marine Corps Institute.
Mm-hmm.
Every Marine takes an MCI course
Yeah,
at some point in their life.
very true.
He created the Marine Corps League, the Military Order of the Devil Dogs. He listened to the historians and published, the order that causes us to pause and reflect on our history and our future every November 10th.
Yeah.
That man had just some incredible vision, and
Yeah.
he put things in place that have lasted over 100 years.
Oh yeah. It's amazing. He's an amazing guy. Did amazing things.
Yeah.
I don't even know how. It's pretty cool. Oh man. All right. Oh, okay. Here's a good one. If you could change one rule in the military, what would it be?
It would have to be something administrative. We get so buried with all the nitnoid detail, run here, run there, fill this form out. If I could change anything, I think from a logistics supply standpoint, I would find a way to change how things are checked out and turned in to supply.
Ooh,
it's
that's
a nightmare.
A good point.
Even now, even in the electronic age, it's a freaking nightmare. So if I could change one rule, it would be: here's your gear, turn it back, and somehow we know who has what without triplicate and filling out. And oh my god.
That checking in seems to be okay. It's the checking out process that is always a pain.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, here I am, Colonel Anderson, finally retired. It's January of 2009. I got all my 782 gear here. Hey, I want to turn this in. Yeah, it is. Keep it. Okay. Yeah. It's now all being husbanded by a reserve unit here in Wisconsin, because I said, okay, I gave it away about, a couple of years ago. I was like, okay, I'm done dragging this stuff around. I'm never going to be activated again. Off it goes.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's fun times. All right. What is one lesson or skill you learned that you still use today?
Trust. Trust the people that work for you. And don't make them earn your trust. Give them your trust.
Ooh.
And if things don't go right because of trust, then you can reel it back in. I don't like leaders who make you somehow some mythical thing you have to do, and then I'll trust you. No, that's not how trust works. You work for me, I trust you're going to do the right thing. And if you're not going to do the right thing, I'll know, and then we'll reevaluate what's next. You got a question, ask. But I trust you to do the right thing. That's
good. I like that. Holy cow. Man, that was really good, actually. All right.
I told you, it's all about people.
Man.
I got to, when somebody comes to me, like, I trust you to do the right thing. If you're confused or you got a question, come ask me. Otherwise, it's your job. Go do it. Make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish everybody would be more like that. That's good. All right. In the zombie apocalypse, what will be your weapon of choice, and what anthem will be playing?
Oh my God. I can't believe you're asking me that one. So my weapon of choice. Well, I'm a log guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think a good 5-ton truck with a lot of fuel in it, that'll be a good weapon. And then, of course, anything I can carry on my body. But I don't have any I mean, I can shoot straight, and if I can see, I can kill you. But beyond that, let's not worry about it.
That makes sense.
The anthem. I think the anthem I would play is AC/DC Back in Black.
Ooh, yep. Yeah.
Because so I've said it a couple of times as a Naval Academy guy, midshipmen, they're working uniform every day to get to and from school, classes, and all of that is basically black.
Oh,
I mean, they call if you see a Navy officer in their suit, you'd swear it's black, but it's navy blue, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
So that's what mids wore. And every time we showed up for the first day of the semester, someone would blare it out during our formation from some innocuous room that nobody could ever find.
Yeah.
I'd be playing Back in Black, and I'd be driving a 5-ton truck over as many of those zombie guys as I could.
Very nice. I'm digging that. That's good. That's good. All right. Knowing what you know now, would you do it all over again?
In a heartbeat. Yep. No question at all. None at all.
Yeah.
People have often said, well, you did this, or maybe you drank too much there and you said such and so to some general, or, would you undo any? No, it's what I am. It's how I became who I am. So
yeah, I
would do it all over again. And I don't have any regrets. I really don't.
Very nice.
Not a one.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I always give time for words of wisdom. Anything you want to leave the listeners with?
Words of wisdom. Marines are a family for a reason. We understand where we came from. We know what our mission is, and we know, based on that mission, where we're going. So we're always connected, past, present, and future, in some way. And my words of wisdom are: seek out each other and support one another.
Very good. Yeah, that's great. Man, Kirk, thanks for coming on and doing this. I had a good time. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I don't know.
I had a great time.
Okay, good. And I can't wait to get back together. Get back together on a fireside chat too. So I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll make sure that it happens. And I will, like I said, I'll circle with the rest of my guys and figure out, what we can do.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, awesome. Thanks again. I truly appreciate it. To all the listeners out there. Oh yeah. Don't hang up on me whenever we go through this outro. Yeah. Okay. To all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA does have some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255 or go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on the chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life lost is one too many. I care about you. I know Kirk cares about you. The whole veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to the buddies you served with. Ask them how they're doing. If they need that helping hand, please give it to them. All right. One last time, Kirk, thanks. You are awesome. And to all the listeners out there, stay motivated. Change your socks.
No more 22. Honor the journey and finish the fight.